Thank you. Good morning. It is such a blessing to be here. We've been praying for you guys a lot, and I know many of you have been praying for us, and sometimes you don't always get to see the local missions that you help out. So I'm excited to be here just to share what you guys are already sowing into. So it's a privilege for us to be here and to be able to share what we do, who we are, and maybe ways that you could get involved. So our organization is called Better Together. We walk alongside families in crisis and also in the rebuilding process. A lot of our families are very isolated. They don't have just one person that they can call. If there is a medical emergency, or maybe they're struggling with addiction, maybe they're a single mom and they don't have anybody to watch their kids at home when they go in to deliver. We can come in and be that support for those moms and for those families who are experiencing that crisis, to be able to show Christ-like hospitality, the love of Jesus, and really just give them hope that this isn't the end of your story, that we're here to walk with you through what you're going through, and really be the church and do what the church does best. And so that's what our organization does. We've been in Florida since 2015. We started in Cape Coral. Now we're all the way up to Tampa Bay region, and then pop up to Jacksonville. We're in Jacksonville as well. So we serve moms, we serve dads, we serve entire families to help prevent the need of foster care. So we also, let me just back up. We have two parts and one mission. So one of our parts of our mission is our Better Jobs. So we equip churches how to host job fairs, to connect families to be gainfully employed, just to restore hope and dignity in the workplace. We have job coaches, which is one of the ways we'll talk about that you can get involved. But we have found that about 76% of our families come to us due to an economic hardship because of unemployment. They've lost their job, maybe unemployment ran out, or now the eviction process is starting. Some sort of economic hardship is going on, and so we're able to connect them, one, through the local churches. We're in 21 different states with our Better Jobs portion of our Better Together ministry. So again, our Better Jobs is in 21 different states. We've connected 34,000 job seekers to employment, and 60% of the families who work with us are employed within 6 weeks. But we love our job fairs. They're amazing. They're an outreach. It's not just a job fair where you walk up, you sign a piece of paper, and then nobody talks to you the whole time. You have somebody that walks you through each table, connects you with local employers that are within the community. They can introduce you. A lot of them get hired on the spot. We have a prayer wall, an opportunity bell. We have volunteers from the church come. If they bring their kids, they're actually welcome to. And so you can kind of just play with them in the corner, distract them, just so they can really focus on being able to get hired. So we're super passionate about our Better Jobs portion of our ministry. I'm mostly here to talk to you about Better Families, but I wanted to just touch on that because it's really important, and it's something a lot of our families and just community is struggling with. Not being able to make enough money, the rent being risen, not having a place to go or a place they can afford to go because their rent is skyrocketing and they don't know what to do, which finds a lot of our families then homeless, on the streets, in shelters, with their entire family, all their kids, with all their belonging in storage or in their cars. And what do you do? What do you do if you don't have a church community? What do you do if you don't have somebody to call? And you're sitting there trying to juggle everything and change diapers, make sure your kids are fed, get wherever you need to go, leave the shelters in the morning. It's a process because not all of the shelters you can stay at. So you pack up all your stuff, get on the bus, and take your kids maybe to camp if you're blessed that they can go to camp during the day. Try to get to work, go back. I say all that to say that can be a lot on someone. I know it's a lot on a husband and a wife, let alone if you're a single parent household. And so those are families that we can walk alongside. Those are families that we can connect to our local church volunteers, our local community, to be able to help them overcome what they're going through. So on the back table in the back, there's some of these cards that asks, are you interested in becoming a volunteer? So as I said, I went over our Better Jobs, but our Better Families walks alongside families in crisis. How do we do that? There's different ways that you can volunteer to walk alongside our families. One is by being a host family. That is providing care for the children short term while the parents maneuver whatever it is we're going through. Our host families go through a level 2 background screen, which we provide. We take care of the costs. And also you would go through a training, which I do our trainings in our area. So you would go through the training, and then we would have a home study coordinator that's licensed in Florida to come to your home and make sure that your home is safe, that you know and your family knows what to expect, what's safe, what's not safe when families come into your home. So we're able to do that by a power of attorney. So there's a start date and an end date. So what does that look like? A host family can look as different as me and you. You don't have to be married. You can be single. You don't have to have completely separate rooms. A lot of times with foster care, you have to have a certain amount of square footage per heartbeat. But our hostings are so short term. The average stay is 41 days. But you can choose if you want to do short-term respite, so less than 72 hours. That's for moms who maybe have a medical emergency, need somebody to watch their kids. We have a mom who's due next week. The mom that just had her baby, she only needed a hosting for her kiddos for 36 hours. So pretty much she went in, had her baby, came home. She just needed somebody to watch her son. And so if you have space to do that, we can bring you a pack and play if you don't have a separate bedroom. You can choose what ages. You can choose if you want to watch boys or girls, teenagers or babies, or toddlers for those of us who may have a ton of energy. So you can literally critique it to however the Lord has called you to serve, individually and as a family. You can also sign up to be a mentor or a family advocate. That would walk alongside our families to be that person that our parents could call to pray with them, to check on them, to tell them you can do this. Do not give up. Keep going. You would work with our family care coordinator and our parents to be able to see what their goals are and just keep them accountable to make sure that they're doing those things. It's very hard when you get a piece of paper full of phone numbers and you call everyone and nobody answers and you're just like, okay, none of those people can help me. Actually, they can. Let's call again. We're just going to believe that they're going to answer. Hey, how did that go when you talked to them? What resources could they give you? Different things like that. As we are helping them connect in the community for the resources they need, you get to be that cheerleader for our parents to be able to say, keep going. So there's a yes out there somewhere. So we're going to work with Better Together and help you find it. And so our advocates are so important. The other role that our advocates have is invite the parents to church. You might be the only person that invites our families to church, and they're waiting for somebody just to invite them. It's so crucial and so important that all of us have not only healthy community, but have Jesus, have the church. That is what is sustainable. So for us, it's so important that our parents have the opportunity to get connected to a men's group, to get connected to a women's group, to come, to have fellowship, to have coffee. And you can be that invitation for them that they've been waiting for. So we also have job coaches, which we talked about a little bit. But if you are a professional, maybe retired, I don't like that word. Somebody told me that you're not retired, that you're refired, that the Lord can commission you new all the time. So if you're good at resume writing, if you're good at helping ladies accessorize or pick out an outfit that could go with them to Women's Resource where they can get free outfits, shop with them. Just be there this looks amazing for your interview, just to help them feel confident, but also practically help them write their resume, help them connect to the websites that make their resume sound as not only as awesome as God thinks that they are and knows that they are, but how their work experience can actually reflect that. So they feel confident to go to their jobs and be ready for whatever questions they may ask. And the last opportunity, which is not last, but it's equal opportunity, if you will, is for resource volunteers. So this can be anything from when we have our luncheons or parents' night outs quarterly. If you love to cook and you're open to maybe make a meal, if you would like to come to our luncheons and just sit with our moms. You can volunteer just to come and just sit with our moms, encourage them, say hello to them. I don't care how old you get. I feel like, I don't know if it ever gets easier to walk into a room when you don't know anybody and just sit down and maybe hope somebody talks to you, or how to make that connection. I'm a talker, so if I have that problem, I can imagine I'm probably not the only one. So you can just be that encouragement for our moms. Like, I'm so happy that you came. A lot of times when our moms come to our luncheons, that's probably the last thing that they maybe want or feel they can handle to do at that moment, trying to get all their kids ready, try to go be in a gathering that they've never been in before. Then bring their kids. Of course, everything goes wrong when you're trying to get your kids out to something you actually are trying to want to go to. And you can be that support. You can be that, oh, I'm glad you made it. Can I hold something for you? Do you want me to get you coffee? So again, being that friend. A resource volunteer can be maybe setting up a meal train for a hosting. If you have someone in your church who's volunteering, or we have a mom right now whose son he has a tumor in his brain. Thankfully, it's not cancerous, but they go up to Children's Hospital 3 times a week. So maybe you would want to cook a meal for them and take it over to them. If we have a family who's extra in need of maybe some support and some love, those are different ways. Or if you quilt, we've had moms bring in quilts to give to our new moms, and a lot of them, when you give it to them, they just sit there and sob because they don't have their family, they don't have their mom, they don't have their dad, and this is a special thing that they never maybe would have been given, or they just don't have the opportunity to have something like that. So if there's something that you're skilled in that you that I may not have touched on, please let me know. It's just a privilege to get to be the church. We've served just so many families that are usually surprised when I answer the phone because they're used to getting a recording or a robot. And so it's crazy sometimes when I answer the phone and I have dads that say, are you a real person or are you a robot? I'm like, no, I'm actually a real person. And I've had dads say, okay, so can you help me? Like, I cannot believe you answered the phone. And I've had dads completely break down and sob because they're single dads. They don't know how to provide for their kids. Their job was seasonal, and they don't know what to do. They're the man. They're supposed to be the provider. So we were able to connect them with resources, connect them with a mentor. I then handed my husband the phone so he could pray for them and keep talking to him. But that's what we get to do. So we've served over 3,400 children, and 98% have not entered the foster care system. That is a very large number, and that 98% is not because of Better Together. It's because of the church. So when people ask us from a community level up to the police departments that we work with, how do you do what you do? The church. That's our answer. That's our only answer. That's the way that we're able to serve families, wrap around them, love them, and that's how we're going to be able to keep radically reducing the need of foster care, is by the church stepping in to what the church does best and being that solution. And so that's who we are. That's what you guys have gotten to sow into. That's what you guys have been a part of, maybe without even knowing it, helping families in our very own backyard. So I just definitely, if I came to do anything today, it's just to sincerely thank you, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do without you. And so it's a blessing to be here, and you've helped more families than maybe you even realized.